Hey everybody, it's Mr. Haswin. I'm back with more things you should know by being alive. And this is the Albany Plan of Union. I want to cover the background here, the goals, Benjamin Franklin's role, why it failed, and why it matters in American history. So, you may recall it from maybe taking a government class back in school. It's pretty familiar to me because I teach it several times a semester, several times a year. So for me, let's just go ahead, it's second nature, but, let's do this. Let's set the stage a bit. So we're going to go back in time. In 1754, there are tensions rising in North America because the French and Indian War, the North American theater of the 7 Years' War. And it's things are really starting to heat up. And the British colonies faced an ongoing conflict with French forces and the native allies of the French. And then we have challenges that come from coordinating a defense and policies needed to negotiate these problems. And then there's concerns over managing relations with the native nations in North America. So British officials encouraged the colonies to meet together and find a way to work in order to plan a defense and also work on diplomacy. And so we end up with the Albany Congress. Now, in June and July of 1754, 7 colonies sent representatives to Albany, New York. They go up the Hudson River, there you go. We got Massachusetts, we got New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New York, Pennsylvania, and Maryland. And while at the Albany Congress, there were also some native leaders, especially from the Iroquois Confederacy, who also attended to discuss alliances. And they go through the duration of the meeting, discussing the possibility of outcomes. Now, where does Benjamin Franklin play a role in this? Well, Benjamin Franklin was a delegate from Pennsylvania, and he arrived with this ambitious idea, the Albany Plan of Union. And in this, Franklin proposes a grand council with representatives from each colony, and then a president general that would be appointed by the crown. And this grand council would manage defense, relations among the colonies and the natives, and Western affairs. It would have the power to levy taxes for the sole purpose of colonial defense against the French primarily, right? And then Franklin famously publishes the Join or Die cartoon during this time. A lot of people associate this particular political cartoon with the Revolutionary War, but it comes out of this period of the French and Indian War. And it illustrates a snake cut into pieces that are representing the colonies and urging unity. So, what are the goals of the plan? The Albany Plan aimed to create a unified colonial response to external threats. It wanted to share resources for defense during the French and Indian War, and it wanted to manage Western expansion and also relations with the native nations more efficiently. Franklin and others saw it as a very practical solution for these shared challenges. Why did it fail? While the Albany Congress approved the plan, it failed to gain approval from colonial legislatures and the British Crown. Why? Well, one, the colonies feared losing autonomy over things like taxes and control of their militias. And two, the British government feared it would give the colonies too much power and a degree of independence. And Franklin would later go on to say, the colonial assemblies rejected it because it gave too much power to the crown, and the crown rejected it as giving too much power to the colonies. So, what's important about the Albany Plan of Union? Why still study it? Well, although it failed, the Albany Plan was the first serious proposal to unite the colonies under a common government. It was a preview of intercolonial cooperation, laying the groundwork for the Stamp Act Congress in 1765, the First Continental Congress in 1774, and then the Continental Congress during the Revolutionary War, and which then will lead to the Articles of Confederation and eventually the Constitution. Now, it also is important because it's a symbol of growing American unity, American identity, I should say, American identity, not unity. And this is a realization that the colonies had shared interests. It showed early cracks in the colonial-British relationship, and it foreshadowed calls for unity and independence. So, its legacy, and then the join or die aspect here. So Franklin's join or die cartoon became an enduring symbol, later revived during the Revolutionary War to encourage colonial unity. And the Albany's plan, the spirit of the plan was a degree of collaboration, and that resurfaces with the cartoon. We have calls for independence, we have eventually the Articles of Confederation, and then the U.S. Constitution. It showed that when challenges arose, the colonies could think about working together to solve them. So as we wrap this up, I probably went a little too long here, but the Albany Plan of Union didn't succeed in 1754, but it planted seeds of unity that would grow into a revolution. So hey, picked up anything new here, like, comment, follow, share for more things you should know by being alive. Because moments like the Albany Plan show how ideas of unity often start small, but then eventually can change everything. Thanks for watching.